The Star Seller Badge for Etsy is the biggest rollout they've had in a long time. In this video, we're going to talk about what is it, how do you get it, what's the future of sellers, how do you need to approach this to be successful on Etsy. So make sure to stick around. Hi guys, my name is Vlad and this is Talk Shop. This is where I give advice, techniques, and step-by-step instructions on how to set up your Etsy shop in order to be very successful and generate an income that is very impressive. And when I'm talking about impressive, I'm not talking about $50 to $100 a day. I'm talking $1,000 to $2,000 a day. This is where we rethink business on a different scale. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. Anyways, the Star Seller Badge. What is it? It is pretty much a badge that Etsy will reward you if you meet the three criteria: 95% more on reply time or message reply on customer service, 95% or more on 5-star reviews. So you need to have 5-star reviews 95% or more at that rate. And you need to do 95% or more on time shipping. And they're gonna grade you every 30 days. So if you don't have the Star Badge now, don't worry. You can improve those numbers. You can get things out earlier and get that badge next month. So it's not a permanent stamp and it doesn't last for a long time. So there's a benefit and a non-benefit. So if you have the Star Badge, you can still lose it. And if you don't have the badge, you still have a chance to get it. So why did Etsy do this? And I believe the biggest thing is the transparency between the buyers and the sellers. I think that is ultimately the biggest thing that Etsy wants the customers to be able to understand what shop they're dealing with. When you buy something from your family or friends, let's say they baked a pie, you know them and you're more comfortable to buying from them. So Etsy wants to create this relationship where the customers can feel like they know the sellers and the sellers can be honest and transparent with the buyers. So I think it has a good fundamental reason why they come out with that. One thing I don't like about this is it's gonna be kind of unfair, and this is what I mean. When you buy something from China and all you have to do is engrave on the item, then your processing time could be much faster, which means if I say, because I sell dog collars, and there's a lot of competitors that buy dog collars from China and all they do is they engrave on the collar and they ship it out. Their processing time could be 2 days and 3 days, no problem. I sew my dog collars from scratch, which means my process goes from printing the fabric to cutting the fabric to sewing the straps to putting the buckle together to engraving the buckle to putting buckle and strap together and then packaging and shipping it. Now, I was able to improve my process from 1 to 3 days on average, on an 80% average, right? So what happens is I have to kind of go back to the 3 to 5 days because on average, like I said, at 80%, that's all I'm able to do. Now, at 95%, I'll have to go back to 3 to 5 days. Now, people that engrave on already made items, they're able to keep those numbers because all they have to do is engrave. So I think it's going to encourage more of that than handmade from scratch, because here's the thing: when customers see a shorter processing time, they're going to go for that, and they're not going to go for something that takes 3 days, 3 to 5 days, or 1 to 2 weeks, right? And so I feel like people that buy from China will have an upper hand on this. Or if you say people that sew pillows and then sublimate on them versus people that buy those pillows from China and sublimate, there's going to be a kind of an unfair battle. So if you do truly handmade items, you are going to be on the backseat, which I think goes against Etsy's brand. So that's my biggest concern. Now, the other biggest concern is that there is a lot of customers that require customization changes. Like, for example, when I make my dog collars, I offer all different kinds of customization they could do. And so when they'll order a collar, they'll say, hey, actually, I know you sell this collar in a 1 1/4 inch width. Can you make it in 3/4 inch? And can you actually change the buckle to be this color? And when you engrave it, can you change it to this? And I have this all the time, a lot higher than 5%, which means my processing time for those people is going to be slightly bigger because they've just taken my product out of the production line and causing me to spend more time on it, which means that I'm going to be overdue on that. So things like that won't no longer be able for my customers. So if they say, hey, can you change this and that? I say, sorry, we got to get this thing out. Now, I'm not going to say it like that, but that will have to be the model. So I think it goes against Etsy's brand, the allowing the customers to truly make something customized, truly make something for them only. And so that's a conversation that used to be between customers and sellers, and the overdue was okay because the customer understands, hey, this is going to take more time than they've initially told me about. So, but if you sell things from China, that's not going to be a problem because the customer can't change anything, and it's going to be shipped out at what is shown in the photos. There's no change. So customers are less likely to have the experience of true customization, true handmade, true for them handmade items. So this is one biggest difference or biggest hit into the branding of Etsy, really. And so it's going to encourage a lot more Amazon-like sellers to come in on Etsy and become more dominant, to be the quote-unquote star seller, but they're not star creators. So that's my biggest issue with this one. I think it's a great thing to have the 5-star rating. That's awesome because to have good quality stuff is great. I think message response time is great. I just think what Etsy could do is maybe give a little bit more wiggle room on the shipping processing time, and keep it at 95 for 5-star or 95% on message reply. But I can see that shipping is going to be the biggest issue. So another thing I like about this, now I am somewhat of a big seller, but this gives more chance to the little guy. And what I mean by that, so if we have, say, 100 orders each day, 700 orders a week, and so on, you do the math per month, to keep this star is going to be a lot harder for us. But for the little guy, this is going to be a lot more simpler. It's going to be, they only get this many orders, so they're able to reply to all of them. They're able to make sure that the customer is truly happy, and if something's not right, they'll replace it. It's easier because it's not a bigger cost, and you're able to ship it on time because there's not that many orders. So it gives the little guy a better chance to be the star seller, and so that gives a chance to compete with the big guy. So obviously that should be a negative for me, but not really, because I like that's what I like about Etsy, is it has the ability to give the little guy more of a chance. So it's kind of a back and forth. I don't know what they're going to do. I think there definitely needs to be some more wiggle room and maybe some more work with sellers. I feel like Etsy has rolled this out really quick without much knowledge from the sellers. They just went for it, and I think there should be a little bit more conversation on what works best, and I really hope that they modify it as it goes. But as of now, this is the reason why this is also important. As Christmas is coming up, and I'm recording this video in the summertime, we need to get this badge, because people that buy something for Christmas, if they don't see that badge and they're saying, I might not get it before Christmas, right? Because everything is time sensitive when it comes to seasonal items. And if you have that badge, they're going to be like, oh yeah, this customer will send me this seller will send me my package. And that's going to be a big thing. So if you are a seller, the best thing you can do is work your tail off to get this star. And that's what I'm going to do. I have a feeling that a lot of larger stores are going to fail to get the star. And I think at first, a lot of really good sellers are not going to be able to get the star. I think that's going to be the most honest opinion. I'm going to work my tail off to try to get it. With the amount of orders that I get, I'm going to have to change my process and change a lot of things in the shop to make sure that we meet those numbers, make sure that we meet those percentages. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think you shouldn't complain about it. I think you should need to get on board with it no matter what happens. Even if this whole badge is tossed out of the window, it's not a bad thing to improve your processing time or improve your message response time or improve your reviews. It's not a bad thing. If you don't think that's a bad thing, then maybe you're in the wrong business. So, but hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up. What is your opinion? Write in the comments. You think it's a good thing? Are you a sticker seller? That means you don't have valid tracking numbers because you ship everything by stamp. What do you think about that? I would love to know what your opinion about that, and hope to see you next time on my other videos.